The fifth episode of House of the Dragon Season 1 is titled, We Light the Way. The episode starts off with Lady Rhea, the Lady of the Vale, riding off into the beautiful hills of the Vale to go hunt. However, when she turns a corner, she finds Daemon there, wearing a cloak and waiting and hiding. She greets him by calling him husband, as if taunting Daemon. She asks Daemon if he's finally come there to consummate their marriage and tells him that even the sheep of the Vale might be more willing for that than her. She taunts him by asking him what his plans are now, that even his brother, the king, has forsaken him. Lady Rhea asks Daemon if he plans to now overthrow the child heir as well. However, she soon realizes that the cunning Daemon has something else in his mind. But before she can even react, Daemon overthrows her from her horse in one quick motion. Lady Rhea falls down and lies there paralyzed, waiting for her death. As Daemon starts walking off, she taunts him one last time by saying, "I knew you couldn't finish the job." Daemon stops, turns around, picks up a stone, and starts walking towards her before the scene cuts. Back in King's Landing, Alicent comes running out in the rain, crying, to say goodbye to her father, who had just been stripped of his title of Hand of the King. Alicent says to her father that she didn't mean for any of this to happen, but her father says that she chose Rhaenyra over him. Lord Hightower tells Alicent to listen carefully and tells her that the king is ill and will die soon. And when he does, war and chaos will erupt because the realm will never accept Rhaenyra as their queen, and to strengthen her claim to the throne, Rhaenyra will have no choice but to kill Alicent's children. He tells Alicent that even though she can see it happening, she chooses to turn a blind eye before making his exit from King's Landing. The king sails to Driftmark to ask for the hand of Ser Laenor Velaryon for his daughter and heir, Rhaenyra. When Rhaenyra and Laenor are strolling along the beach, it is revealed that Ser Laenor is gay and interested in men. Rhaenyra, however, is fully sympathetic to this. Rhaenyra and Laenor, both uninterested in a traditional marriage, agree to a public display of unity while maintaining their own personal lives, and once they've provided the realm with heirs and done their duty, they go their own separate ways. The journey back to King's Landing reveals the growing tension between Rhaenyra and her sworn protector, Ser Criston Cole. Ser Criston asks Rhaenyra to elope with him to Essos, where they'll be nameless and free and could even marry each other. Rhaenyra, however, says that her duty to the House Targaryen is sacred and above even her happiness, and she can't forsake it all and leave everything behind. After all, Rhaenyra was the heir to the Seven Kingdoms. This breaks Criston's heart. Torn by his oath and his forbidden feelings for the princess, Ser Criston walks away from Rhaenyra after telling her that he's broken his oath and stained his white cloak, which was all he had. Afterwards, when they get back home, Alicent summons Ser Criston in her bedchambers. She makes him sit beside her and asks him hesitantly if the rumors that Rhaenyra had neglected her duties and is no longer a virgin are true, referring to the night when Daemon and Rhaenyra had sex. Ser Criston, however, thinking that the queen is asking if he, Ser Criston, had sex with Rhaenyra, confesses everything. He asks the queen to let him have a clean, merciful death and not let him be tortured. Alicent, all angry that Rhaenyra lied to her and subsequently got her father kicked out as well, lets Ser Criston go. The royal wedding celebrations soon commence, and the king hosts a grand dinner for all the lords of the Seven Kingdoms. Daemon also arrives at the wedding, much to the king's displeasure. However, in the midst of the king's speech, Alicent makes her entrance, wearing green, which is Old Town's banner for when they go to war. Alicent, fueled by her father's warnings, feels threatened by Rhaenyra's position and decides to take action. Alicent's uncle, the Lord of Old Town, also tells her to stay strong and tells her that whatever happens, Old Town stands with her. This gives Alicent extra motivation to take a stand against her enemies. The king looks visibly ill when he delivers his speech, and after giving a toast to the two great Valyrian houses, the king sits down. Laenor asks Rhaenyra for a dance, which is applauded and well received by the audience, and afterward, everyone joins them on the floor. Ser Joffrey, the lover of Ser Laenor Velaryon, goes to talk to Sir Criston and tells him that the future king consort is very special to him, just in the same way the princess is to Sir Criston. Criston, angry at Rhaenyra, attacks Joffrey out of sheer jealousy and in a brutal manner bashes his face and skull in, resulting in killing him. As Criston couldn't find his love, he didn't let Laenor, the man who took his love away from him, have the love of his life either. The king gets worried about Rhaenyra's well-being, as she is also in the crowd when the fight breaks out. Sir Harwin quickly moves in and carries Rhaenyra away from danger at the behest of Lord Strong. Watching all this chaos unfold is too much for the king, as some drops of blood start dripping from his nose. Sir Criston goes outside to the garden to end his life by committing suicide, but Alicent arrives just in time and stops him from doing so. In this way, Alicent gains a much-needed ally. A small and rather somber wedding ceremony between Rhaenyra and Laenor happens with Laenor still reeling from Ser Joffrey's death. They say their vows, while Laenor looks visibly distraught. The episode ends on a cliffhanger as King Viserys collapses during the wedding feast. Whether he's dead or merely unconscious remains a mystery. This concludes the 5th episode of House of the Dragon Season 1. The 6th episode of House of the Dragon Season 1 is titled The Princess and the Queen. The episode begins with a 10-year time skip. Rhaenyra, now heavily pregnant, is in labor. As she struggles to push out the baby, she appears worn out and exhausted. The midwives tell her to push, but she says she can't. Soon, though, the head of the baby pops out, and the midwife tells Rhaenyra that it's another boy. Rhaenyra embraces the newborn boy in her arms, but her joy is short-lived as a maid comes in and tells her that the queen has demanded to see the baby right now. Fearful of Alicent and her motives, Rhaenyra gets up and decides to take the baby to the king and queen herself. Ser Laenor supports her out of the room and up the stairs leading to the king and queen's chambers. Many of the lords present at the palace congratulate a disgruntled Rhaenyra, who accepts their wishes with a smile and holds back the grimace on her face. Ser Laenor and Rhaenyra bring the child to the king and queen. The king is delighted and holds his grandson in his arms, while Alicent asks the parents if they've settled on a name. Before Rhaenyra can speak up, Ser Laenor says that his name will be Joffrey. As Rhaenyra and Laenor are about to leave, Alicent whispers in Laenor's ears and tells him, "Keep trying, and you'll finally have one that looks like you." Once the princess and Laenor have left, Alicent raises the legitimacy of Rhaenyra's children in front of the king. As none of Rhaenyra and Laenor's children look like Laenor and have a black head of hair while both their parents are blonde, Alicent's claims have weight, but the king shuts her down. He tells her that what she's trying to accuse Rhaenyra of can have dire consequences and tells her to speak no more of it. Meanwhile, in the free city of Pentos, Daemon and his new lady wife, Lyanna Velaryon, roam around on their dragons, much to the amusement and amazement of the crowd. Prince Reggio of Pentos holds a dinner in their honor and gives a toast to Aegon the Conqueror, who helped Pentos in their war against Lys, their enemy. After giving the toast, Reggio puts forth a proposal. He asks Daemon and Lyanna to take permanent residence in Pentos with their children. He tells them that the Triarchy has teamed up with Lys, and with the help of the Martells, the Lords of Dorne, they may attack Pentos again. He asks them to stay and protect Pentos with their dragons, and in return, he'll give them the palace they're eating in and make Daemon the people's new Targaryen lord. While Lyanna declines the invitation by saying that they're merely travelers, Daemon says that it's a fine offer, and they'll certainly entertain it. Back in King's Landing, Ser Criston teaches dueling and fighting to the children of both Rhaenyra and Alicent. However, he gave more attention to the king's children rather than that of Rhaenyra. Sir Harwin, who had just come on the scene, points that out. This angers Criston, and he puts Aegon, the king's eldest, against Jacaerys, Rhaenyra's eldest son. It is no fair match as Aegon is much older, and he easily overpowers him. Cole constantly barks orders at Aegon to use his legs and keep pushing forward. However, just as Jacaerys is about to be hurt, Sir Harwin pushes him off. Cole taunts him by saying that his affection with Rhaenyra's children is not that of a knight, and one could assume that it's worthy of a brother, father, or son. This angers Harwin, who attacks Cole and keeps punching him until he is restrained by the knights there. This makes Cole chuckle, and he says, "Thought as much." pretty much confirming his suspicion that Harwin is the real father of Rhaenyra's children. In Pentos, meanwhile, Laena goes into labor. It is a particularly troublesome and painful one, as no matter how much Laena pushes, the baby doesn't come out. The maester there gives Daemon a choice. He tells him that the child isn't coming out, and if he wants, they can cut open her belly and bring the baby out that way. But there's no guarantee that the baby will survive. Daemon asks the maester if Laena will survive that, and the maester tells Daemon that there's no chance the mother would make it. Ultimately, Daemon refuses to do that out of love for his wife, and ultimately, Laena has a miscarriage as a result. Disheartened by this, and the constant refusal of Daemon to leave Pentos, Laena walks out of the room and goes in front of her dragon, Vhagar. She orders Vhagar to light her up on fire by yelling, "Dracarys," at the beast. Vhagar hesitates and doesn't want to burn her, but after looking at her one last time and seeing Laena's feeble state, Vhagar spits fire at Laena, completely burning and instantly killing Laena in the process, just as Daemon makes his way out and witnesses everything. Back in King's Landing, Lord Lionel Strong comes in front of the king and offers him his resignation. He cites the reason for this being that his son, Sir Harwin, has disgraced himself by fighting Sir Criston and being involved in the allegations against the princess. The king dismisses this by terming it as nonsense, much to the queen's displeasure, as she wants her father to be the hand of the king again. The king tells him that he served as his hand faithfully and given advice without the influence of any self-interest. Satisfied by the king's answer, Lord Strong then asks permission for leave to escort Sir Harwin back to their family seat at Harrenhal. The king gives his permission, and they start their journey. The next night, when both Lord Strong and Sir Harwin are sleeping in their beds at Harrenhal, someone lights a fire in which both Sir Harwin and Lord Strong get completely burnt and die. It is further revealed that it was done on the order of none other than Lord Lionel's own son, Sir Larys Strong. The queen is horrified when she learns that Sir Larys has had his father and brother dead, and clarifies that she did not wish for them to be killed, but rather, she only wished that Lord Strong be removed from his post as the hand of the king. Larys replies by saying that she knew what she wanted, and he's sure that the queen will reward him for this when the time comes. Tired of all the politics and the allegations against her, Rhaenyra goes into the yard where Sir Laenor is dueling with his new romantic interest, Sir Carl, and tells him that they're leaving King's Landing. She quotes Laenor by saying, "A wise sailor flees the storm before it gathers," and tells him to bring Sir Carl along too, because they're going to need any sword they can muster. After saying this, Rhaenyra, Laenor, and their children start their journey out of King's Landing. This concludes the 6th episode of House of the Dragon Season 1.